Welcome back to Tales by Lucy. In this my special edition of Comic Book Nightmares. And today I have Aaron. Aaron, how do you say you is your Instagram handler like
Oh, it,
GC
it's Yi Z Yi.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not gonna be
yeah.
able to
It's
say it.
kind of playing off the idea of Easy E, the
Uh-huh.
rapper.
Yeah,
So
I kind of
yes,
figured.
it was a nickname given to me in college,
Mhm.
and I just never changed my handle. So I was just kind of like
That's
whatever.
pretty
Like
cool.
yeah.
I like it.
I used to do a lot of sound mixing
Mm,
for our theater,
mhm.
and then all the kids there listen to a bunch of rap, and they're like, "Oh, so you're like Easy E," and then they're like, "Oh, Yeezy." So,
That's that's pretty I also thought of, like, Kanye West, like,
so
Yeezy,
it's
you know?
funny. It's funny. I actually got that nickname before Kanye.
There you go, he stole it from you then.
I guess so. I might have to sue him now. I guess or
Yeah,
something like
right?
that.
Oh my god. Let me explain a little bit about Comic Book Nightmares. This is actually my second episode of that Comic Book Nightmares, and,
Let's do.
we're here to talk about a little bit of, you know, comic book collecting. It's fun and you get to meet so many people and everything, but there's always that little I guess nightmare, when you never know what could happen of like it could be ordering from Instagram, eBay, Facebook, raffles, auctions, anything. You never know what could happen, right? And we all have, I guess, a little story when it comes to a little nightmare of collecting. Um, I'm excited that you reached out, and I'm sorry it took forever to
Oh,
do
no
this.
worries. Yeah.
Like
When I heard the idea, I was like, that's great. Like, there's so many, like you said, there's so many people in the industry like that, like buy, sell, and trade that
mhm,
like so many things get like brushed under the rug or
mhm.
like almost like unspoken things like where
Yeah, nobody wants to
this
talk about it.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I thought it
and
was a great format, and I was like,
yeah, and see, like, I don't I mean, I know I never seen a show that is dedicated for that, I seen, like, people talk about it when, little things here and there, like, especially on Drunken Chat, that you can talk about anything,
yeah,
but they focus mostly almost all of them, they focus mostly on the nice and in the, speculations and stuff like that, like, but
like the latest
never
news, yeah.
yeah, but I never focus on the I guess you the shit talking
I mean,
of
that happens.
collecting.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah, only sometimes, but and like I said, they don't really kinda, like, keep going and pick at it, or
Mhm.
it's just kinda like they'll talk about little things and it's just like, "Okay, move on to whatever the show is about." Um,
Yeah.
but it's just like and also not only to talk crap about it, but, like, find like, our solution, Like, I mean, we cannot fix the whole everything we cannot fix everything, but I think if we put a little bit of our part, we're fixing something. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So it's
Or
like I finding a little solution for
right.
I don't know.
Or at least
Mm,
have like, I guess awareness that this could happen to you. So it also uh to give you like what have insight to how to
yeah,
prevent stuff like that to happen.
yeah. So, okay, so before we start, make sure I always forget to say this. Make sure to subscribe, give us a like, and if you're watching this on a rewind, last time we
Yeah.
were trying to figure out rewind. No,
Yeah,
just
that's
leave a
I think that's
comment.
yeah.
Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think of this, and um, but yeah. So let's get to it. So first, I want you to tell me your first comic book nightmare.
Okay. So my first comic book nightmare, I so I'm a completionist of collecting all the Killing Jokes, and I bought one of my last issues on eBay,
Mhm.
and the seller shipped it media mail, but then he
Mm.
also shipped it in this vinyl record.
Oh
Like the
no.
comic was inside the vinyl record. Uh,
Mm-mm.
like I mean, it was interesting, the most interesting way I've ever seen a comic book shipped. Uh, it came in, the condition they said it was going to come in, but like to see that, like, the comic books rubbing around, like going back and forth, being tossed around, and I've never seen anything like that before.
Mhm,
Like, so I guess leave a comment below of your most interesting way of how a comic book showed up to your house.
mhm.
Um, to go off of that, I also have gotten a slab sent in just this. Just like,
No.
yes. I,
And how
I,
did it get there? How bad was it?
it was just a small little
Mm.
crack at the top, but like it was like that's probably has to be like the second worst way and this is off of eBay. Both those sales were off of eBay from two different sellers. It's
Mhm.
been too long, so I don't remember the names.
Yeah.
So even though it says like free shipping or really cheap shipping, I would question that. You know, um,
Did you go every time I learn too, that do you go and look at their page to see if they're comic book sellers?
mhm.
And, if you see, because that happened to me once, and, I went on their page after the fact, and I was like, "Oh, I should have messaged them. They're not comic book sellers. They're, like, just antique, like, it's a
Oh,
seller." So, like, thrift store kinda thing, and I was like, "Shit, I should have messaged them," but I didn't. The
yeah.
next one, I did checked, and I asked right away, "Hey, like, I see that you're not a comic book seller. How will you be shipping this? I hope you don't mind me asking." Like, really nice, like,
Mhm.
um, if you can make sure put 2 cardboards between or something, and they sent it. It was a mailer like that, but it did have, and it was okay. It was secure, so I was just like, "Oh, thank you. Thank you very
Yeah,
much."
yeah. Right.
And,
It's like
so
almost like it's like I'll mail you a Gemini just like to see like to make sure it shows up in the
yeah,
condition I want it in. So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a little when it comes to eBay or even Mercari, because I sell on Mercari.
Mhm.
Uh, on Mercari, I had to message somebody too, and the same thing. And it was you could tell like their picture would look like a young girl, and I asked, and on she added a picture on where they add pictures like how she was gonna ship, and I was like, perfect, thank you, that was so nice. They didn't
Yeah.
have to do that, right? But they did. So I
But
was like, "Yeah,
the
that's
person with
amazing."
that sent the slab in that envelope, I feel like they should have known, right?
Mhm.
If you're dealing with slabs somewhat.
If you're a comic seller, you should know better.
Yeah.
Um, so,
I
okay,
mean,
so how long
yeah,
ago was this when this happened?
with the vinyl record and the
Yeah,
slab.
yeah.
Uh this is probably about 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Okay, and how long you been collecting?
So I got back into collecting. I want to say it was uh, probably like 2016, 2015. That
Oh,
time
okay.
period. Yeah,
Oh, so it was kinda like when you order
yeah,
this, and before that, did you ever buy before,
yeah.
when did you stop collecting for a while?
Okay, so I started as a kid.
Mhm,
I've told the story before, I think on Food Chain, but I'll
mhm,
go ahead and tell.
mm,
So my grandfather, I used to live around the corner from a Stop and Go, which is like a
mhm,
corner store, and they used to sell comic books.
mhm,
So I would walk around the corner with him, and he would I would pick up a comic book, and he would buy
mhm,
it for me.
mhm.
So I still have that in my collection.
Aw,
Uh, yeah,
that's awesome.
it's actually a GI Joe book. So
Aw.
yeah, yeah. And then when I got a little bit older, I used to sell like apples on the corner of my street, like so I could buy comic books. So I
Mm.
remember saving up enough money to buy a Batman Adventures #1.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then when Harley Quinn became bigger news, I was like, oh, I still have my comic books from a kid. I wonder if
Mhm.
I have Batman Adventures 12, like her first appearance. Um, I guess I skipped the in between of when I stopped. So I
Oh,
stopped
darn.
yeah, I stopped I guess around high school when, it's not cool to be like into comic books anymore.
Yeah.
which looking back is like, dang, that was like the best time to be in comic books. But I got into music, so I started
Mhm.
collecting vinyl records and stuff like that. So I guess it's kind of good that they did ship it in a
I was
vinyl
just gonna
record.
say that. I'm like, "Wait, it's on TV." It's like they knew you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So I mean, I don't listen to digital music. I mean, I listen to digital music in my car and like out and about, but like when I'm sitting at home,
Mhm.
I listen to vinyl.
Mm,
So that's something I've actually collected longer than comic books. So I
mm,
started collecting around 14, and then when I started getting back into comics, that's when and vinyl started becoming more and more expensive. That's when I got out of vinyl. Uh, I
mm,
I still have my records and everything, but the prices right now for that are just like way too much.
hmm,
Uh,
hmm.
yeah,
So it's kinda like it's another, like, way of collecting that you can kinda like an investment type of thing?
what the records? Um,
Not
I
really.
s- I mean, I play music too, so a lot of the vinyl I've gotten was either from friends
Mhm,
or bands I really love.
mhm,
So it's kind of like it's it was more the sense that it was cheaper to buy a vinyl record than it was to buy a digital copy or even a CD. Because
mm,
with the increase of prices on vinyl now, it's kind of like they're about the same. So it's kind of like I don't
mm.
know.
Okay, got it. So,
Yeah.
okay, so then that was your, the first 2, like, it was your 2 nightmares, I guess, the beginning of your nightmares,
Right, right.
right? Like, those that
Yeah.
was I guess it started with the bad in a bad way, I guess. Um, After that, so it was the first the vinyl, and then the second one was the,
The slabs.
CGC, yeah.
Oh,
Did it I mean, the slap, did did you feel like it kinda, like, took discouraged you from ordering online, or did you just like, it's like, well, it was just kinda like a chance that it did just happen?
well, so by that point when I was ordering books, I had been already collecting for probably like a year or two, so I
Okay,
was already familiar with buying online.
okay.
Not enough to like take out a report or anything like that,
Mhm,
to get them a strike or anything like that. But I knew about reslabbing and stuff like that, and it was
mhm,
like the crack on the slab was like probably just like a hairline fracture on it.
okay.
So I knew about reslabbing and stuff like that, and I was about to go
Mhm,
to a con anyways. Um, and I was planning on it was a CBCS case, and it
okay.
had like one of the older labels, and I was planning on reslabbing it
Oh,
anyways.
okay.
Yeah,
So it kinda
so
worked out, kind
it
of.
kind of worked out, but like it bumped up of when I was going to do it,
Mhm.
and you know,
Okay, okay.
so and I was even considering like trying for a crack repress
Mm,
regrade.
got it. So which one okay, you got those 2, right? Which one's, like, the worst? Like, the horrible one experience that you have, uh, with everything overall? Like, has it been those 2, or do you
Oh,
have worse one?
so I have a, I guess a so nightmare. It ended up, I guess, being in a positive note. And I'll say the worst one for last.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I have this book. It's
Mhm,
a Dark Knights uh, 3, The Master Race.
mhm,
Um, I went to a convention in Dallas and had it signed by Frank Miller.
mm,
Um, and this was before I really knew um, anything about getting slabs, anything like that. So I guess I went to like, you know, let the community know like, hey, if you want to get a book slab and yellow labeled like this one is, to go to either CBCS, CGC, and find a witness so you can get a witness signature.
mhm,
Um, because I didn't know about that, and I had the chance, I guess, like from that huge line to get a witness signature, but I didn't really know anything about it. And so the next year, the the cover artist, Tony Harris, was actually at the convention. And so by that time, a year had passed, and I learned more about oh, you need witness signatures like to get signed. Um, if you want to get it slabbed and not get like through CGC a green label. If you graded through CBCS at the time, they were giving red labels
Mm,
for verified signatures.
mm,
And so knowing that that year, I was like, okay, well, I'll go ahead and get the Frank Miller signature verified and get and pay the $25 fee for that, and then get the Tony Harris signature as witness, so it'd be cheaper
mhm,
because it's only going to be one grading fee no matter what. And then somehow on the paperwork that they were filling out, they messed up of how they were charging me, and then this is a it says right there witness signatures for Frank
mhm,
Miller and Tony Harris
mhm.
on the date. Um, so I just wanted, I guess, to show the community like, hey, like, I, obviously this book is going to be in my PC now.
Mhm.
I'm not going to list it on eBay like to like try to pull a fast one that it's still a yellow label witness signature. But I mean, like, I just kind of want to promote the honesty in comics that
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
yeah, even though like I guess CBCS messed up through the
yeah.
paperwork somehow, it probably threw him off that I had a witness signature and then I was trying to verify a signature.
Maybe, yeah, maybe it did. That's kinda like they got up confused, but that's really nice that of you that you admit it, that it's like, no, only one was, verified, not the other one, but then at the same time, how can they go about that? Like, I think it will be like I was telling you, like, it might be kinda hard to go. You'll be losing one that it was verified compared
Yeah,
to the other one that it was not, so I think they will be easier just kinda, like, to leave it that it was verified even though one of them
yeah.
wasn't, but
So yeah, I thought it was kind of funny because it was at a Dallas Fan Expo, and so it was at two different years. One year Miller was there, and the next year Tony Harris was there. And
mhm,
then my brother was collecting books also at the time, and then he was submitting stuff to CBCS, and then just for his PC, and
mhm.
then he overheard someone was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go wait in line to find to get Frank Miller's autograph on the year that he wasn't there," and so like
Oh,
I think this like huge rumor started that like Frank Miller was there even though he wasn't.
oh, oh my god.
Uh, yeah,
That's funny. Wow. Well, see, that's nice. Honesty, I think, like when especially when it comes to like the books and everything like that. I, um, I've been selling some on Instagram and stuff like that, and I'll ask, like, this is how I'm sending you, like, if you okay, like, if, especially like with the shipping, for me, every time I buy something, it's like I think about it. Okay, it's $5, but $5 for shipping. I always put it together as it's a $10 book. I'm spending $10,
mhm.
for a book. I'm not thinking about it's a $5 book. Um, so I when I'm selling something, I kinda put myself on the buyer's shoes, like, and
Oh
I
yeah,
try to find the cheapest shipping, but at the same time, uh, package them well. Um, and
yeah.
I ask a lot of times before I send it, I ask them, "Is it okay if it's, like, multiple books, like, say, 5 books?" And even though, like, the bag and board's not that heavy, it adds a lot to the especially if it's, like, 5 books, and I'll ask, like, "Hey, is it okay if I can put 2 books in one little like, the bag and board?"
Mhm.
It saves, like I just sent somebody and it was, like, 5, it was 5, 6 books, I think, and then he saved, like, $2 on shipping. $2 is $2. So, I was like, "You're gonna save $2."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Yeah, yeah, it's okay, it's fine." And it was, it was cheaper, but I'll let them know before, "Hey, is it okay if I do this?" Doesn't matter if it's on Instagram or Mercari, 'cause that's where I sell the most, Mercari. Um, I
I
ask if they're okay with it
Yeah,
first
I
because
actually haven't tried using Macari for selling.
it's nice, I like it. I mean, I know I saw my little rant that I was, like, mad that that they went up on their prices for shipping, they went $1 more.
Mm,
Um, and the only thing I do kinda like the whole shipping that you cannot like, if it's a pound or l less than a pound, it's gonna be $5, doesn't matter how much. Uh, but when I ship, I think I told you the website that I use.
Hmm.
Um, when you were gonna send me the stuff, I was like, you should use this one because it's better. You don't spend so much, and um, like it could be $3, for shipping. So I kind of like that. Whenever I buy online, I always like the shipping. It's kind of like that it gets me,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, never mind, stupid shipping.
Yeah, I always try to remember the shipping costs, like when purchasing books online, like
Yeah,
just because like because you see the flash of the price and you're like, oh, that's a really good deal. But
yeah,
then like if you're not ordering at least like 5 books or more from someone, then it almost like
you paying
doesn't make
double.
s- yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't make sense to like almost buy online unless you're I don't want to say
mhm.
bulk buying, but like
Yeah, yeah,
buying quite a bit.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's kind of like how I see things. Another thing I wanna ask. I how do you feel? I mean, we talked about it before it started a little bit. Um,
Oh, give me 1 second.
oh no, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're gonna take a quick break, I guess. um. Wow. Uh. Okay.
All right, I'm back.
You're back.
Sorry.
Okay. Good. I was like, what do I say?
Okay, so you're asking?
Oh, so okay. We were talking about this. Like, how do you feel about um variants? Because I mean, there's so many store exclusives, and plus whatever the variants that they come with you from a regular comic book store, right?
Mhm.
Um, l- Now I feel for me like I feel a little bit torn because I was telling you how Bird City Comics, they are friends, and we
Right.
love them, and they have, and I want to support them, and now I feel like I kind of like biased, like I'm like they have the best variants and everything, but then I know I can trust them that I know I'm gonna get it, and I know they're gonna be
Right.
honest about anything. They do care about their customers, and it's
Oh,
because
yeah.
I know them we know them personally. I had a bad experience with a store that I order a book, and they never send me the tracking. They
That's
never
scary.
communicate. They never communicated with me or anything at all. And they're in Canada, which
Oh,
the shipping I kinda knew. I'm like, "Okay, you know what? I know it's gonna take
yeah,
a while.
it's gonna
I
take,
understand."
like, what, a month, I think is what it
Yeah,
is?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm guessing, yeah, like, I know I pre-order on July, I wanna say. I didn't get a tracking, like, a month later, and it was because I messaged them. I
Ooh,
was like, "Hey, you know what? I haven't received anything, like, not even a tracking, not a confirmation," like, oh, I think a confirmation maybe that I paid or something like that, but not a confirmation number, nothing. So I'm like, "What's going on?" And at this time, I still don't know how the whole um, exclusive works, I
mhm,
know of multiple stores, like, now I understand because of Bird City Comics, like, I understand that people can partnership, I guess, they have partnerships in several stores have that same book and whatever.
right,
Not But before I didn't get it really. And
right,
so that happened, I didn't get nothing, and then, another month goes by and nothing, it's been 2 months. They haven't communicated, they haven't said anything. This is already August, I think it so that I got and in September, I was like, "What the heck? What's happening?" Like, I haven't received anything. I see people getting their book already. So I'm like, "What
yeah,
the hell?" And I email them, nothing. I comment on their Instagram, and they blame it on COVID. So I'm
oh,
like, perfect
so
excuse, right?
right,
I was like, "Cool." But then uh, I was like, "Okay," but I'm like, "Can you guys, like, let people know? Like, what the hell?" Like, and then they're like, "Oh, DM us, then blah, 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 we'll check it out." I DM them, they ignore me, they didn't respond. They just, like,
wow,
so on their page on Instagram it can look good.
uh,
And I was like, okay." So I DM you nothing. I waited. I emailed them again asking, like, what was going on? Like, what the hell? It was October already. I'm like, it's been, like, since July, it's October already, nothing, like, I haven't heard nothing from you guys, at least, I don't know, something, nothing. And I
Yeah.
emailed them again, and by this time, I'm already pissed. I was like, "What the hell?" Like, I mean, it's a $15 book, but still, I'm like, "That's my money."
Right,
You know?
right.
I don't
Yeah.
know what's happening. And finally, like, you know, um, I was like, I just wanna know what's happening. Are you guys gonna send it or not? Like, what's happening?" Oh, before that, they when they did, they said that, they I when one of the emails, they did answer, and they said that they were waiting for the book from their partner store or something like that to get it. I was like, "Okay." Um and then a month later again, I'm like, "Hey, still nothing. Okay, like, what's happening?" And then I got the tracking. It says the post o the mailing or post office. I do use not it's not a post office, it's a different one. I can't remember the name. There
Mhm.
That place is waiting for the book to get there. So
Oh
they already
wow.
made a label and anything. So it's been a month from that, and they still haven't received it. So I emailed them again. I was like, "What's going on? Like, did you guys lose the book? Like, are you not gonna send it?" They don't respond at all. They just refunded my money.
Wow.
But then in
The,
next they "Hey,
the
I'm sorry for confusion," or whatever. We
yeah. Oh, well,
Nothing, nothing.
yeah.
Then after that, I saw on their website that they were selling the book for 3 times the price.
Well, see, yeah, and that's the sad part about that those kind of things with variants that um, you know, I get the whole limited number thing, and then but if you delay it for so long and it's a hot book,
Mhm,
then they want to make that extra profit or whatever,
mhm,
and which is sketchy at best.
mhm. Yeah.
Uh,
So shady. It was definitely
yeah.
shady. So,
Um,
I'm never ordering from that place again. But
yeah.
how do you feel about all these having all those places having their exclusives, plus all those variant covers that already come from Marvel?
Well, so I feel like it's gonna change a bit in the industry because you've heard about the returnability stuff that's happening, right?
Mhm,
So I feel like that publishers like directly from Marvel, DC, or whatever, they're not gonna put out like 20 variants anymore.
mhm.
Um,
That's
or
kinda
I
cool.
mean, I feel like they'll still do it for certain titles,
Mhm,
but not like every single title. Like
mhm.
I don't know why Eternals needed like 30 something variants just from Marvel. Um,
Yeah,
and that's not even including the incentives. Those were all
yeah,
just like open to order. So I thought that
yeah,
was like completely insane. But I mean, I'm not a Marvel exec, but
yeah.
yeah. Um, Store variants, like I like them. They can either be a hit or miss.
Mhm,
To me, like I guess I take on the whole ultra attitude where
mhm.
it's like I'm buying it for the art or the artist. I'm not so much buying it for the specability,
Mm,
I guess, or
yeah,
if it's possible to spec on it. Um, that's like a huge rabbit hole that no one should go down. I mean,
no,
unless you're really good at picking, like,
yeah.
yeah,
See, that's one thing that I do. Most of the stuff that I have bought, it's because of the cover, right? The art.
right, right,
Um But then I also like that knowing that I have something that's kinda rare,
yeah, uh,
like, I like that, and not so much because of the whole spec value, whatever, like, no, it's just I don't know, it's like,
it, it,
10 times
it,
better.
it- it's like a cherry on the top, like where
Yeah,
you know that there's only 500 copies or there's only 250 or less, like
mhm,
it's like it's a good feeling, I guess, and that you got in at the buy-in, the
mhm,
initial buy-in. But I'm not gonna pay like whatever times what the initial buy-in was
yeah,
just because you know, uh,
I you know, I kinda also like the feeling that I when I'm like, "Damn it, I missed out."
yeah, that too. It's
Even
like
it sucks,
yeah,
but I kinda like that it's like I need to get my shit together and make sure I get it next time, the next hot thing, whatever.
yeah. I mean, and then there's so many stores now that are putting out exclusives. It's almost to the point where it's hard to keep up with.
Yeah,
And then
and then
yeah,
again, like our friends, from Bird City Comics, I want them to do good. I was
Yeah.
so happy for them when they're like, I like that they're like selling, oh, we sold out or something, like seeing that it's sold out. I love that for them.
Yeah.
But then, at the same time, like other stores that I'm kind of like, I don't care about, I'm like, they need to stop.
Yeah.
But I'm
Well,
okay with them doing that.
yeah. Uh,
I
yeah, speaking of Bird City, yeah, I know we were kind of talking about this backstage,
yeah.
and so they had the exclusives, the ha 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 ones, and I loved how they were completely honest about it, like where there were copies that were damaged, like in the corners and stuff like that,
Mhm,
and I had pre-ordered kind of early or whatever,
mhm.
and so my copies showed up fine, um, and
Yeah. You
and
see, like,
then
I think it's gonna be tough when the cover's all black. They're
mm,
gonna be damaged, like, the paint is gonna be chipped or something. It's gonna be hard to keep them really nice. And I know when that happened, they were saying that, like, "Shit, how do we do it?" Like, and it's like, it's like and I love that they were completely honest. They posted it. They're like, "You know what? This is what happened. If you still want them, like, they posted pictures, and I think people, when you're honest and open like that with your customers, you gain their trust and you gain, their respect, and for sure they're you're gonna have a returning customer because you're treating them like, again, with respect, because you respect, not it's their money and they work so hard for it, especially this times, like,
yeah.
um,
Yeah,
you're
because
respecting them.
and I'm sure we've heard it from all other kinds of stores that put out exclusives or whatever,
Mhm.
and then they send like whatever kind of copy, like a damaged copy, and
Mhm.
they just don't care, like
Yep.
almost because
And
they.
that's I got one like that from Midtown. It was one of their exclusives, one of my first exclusives that I bought, and it
Mhm.
was the Stranger Things that when I was buying Matina covers, when I used to buy them. I don't buy them anymore, but I like that it was one of those, what do they call the things from Stranger Thi thing the those monster thingies that it was kinda coming out of the wall,
Oh,
um, Demogorgons?
yeah,
Is that what
Demogorgons.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was such a cool cover, and I got it, and when I got it, it was down, not only did it took freaking forever, but it was damaged, and then I emailed them, oh, no, I call, and they're like, "Oh, you have to call somewhere, I don't know where else, and then you have to return it, and then they send you." I was like, "Oh, fuck, forget it, I don't want shit anymore, I'm tired, I'm over it." Like, and I kept it, and it wasn't so bad, um, but still, like, it's annoying that, um, you have to deal with that, and they don't care, and to send a crappy ass copy,
Yeah.
but I like that, Bird City, they did that, the Anthony and Laura, they love what they do, you can tell when they love what they do, and, uh they wanna keep their customers happy, and, like the store
Yeah.
where I used to work at, it's the same thing, they make sure that, because the owner, he's a collector, and he knows how he likes his comics, and he makes sure that he's gonna put good product out there, and if
Yeah.
it's like that, he'll let them know, um, and some people, they just want it for reading, they don't care, and they'll be like, "Oh, it's okay, I can get it."
Right. Right.
But,
Yeah,
like,
but I mean, like with most store exclusives, like the price tag is like what, $15, like
plus
10,
shipping.
15 plus
Yeah,
shipping and all that. So
yeah,
I don't feel like they're already set up so they're not reader copies.
yeah,
Like if you wanted to read the copy, just go off at a LCS and buy the $4 cover.
yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah.
yeah, and how do you feel about the Instagram people selling or anything that goes on social media, like people selling? How do you feel about that stuff?
It's I have mixed feelings. Like I guess that leads into our next nightmare. So I bought
Perfect.
yeah,
Perfect timing.
yeah, I bought a what was said a very fine near mint copy of ASM 300
Mm,
right before the Venom movie and
mhm,
the first one. So this was like what 2000, is that 16?
mhm.
And
Yeah.
um I got it for a Stan Lee and Todd McFarlane signing through a retailer that does that.
Okay. Yeah, they
And
provide signatures.
yeah, yeah. And so I was like, okay. And then I filled out the paperwork and then got the book. And then when I got it, I already knew it was not a verifying near mint because there was a fold on the front of the cover,
Mhm,
which I guess you can barely see it because I got it pressed. But
mm.
and so I knew right off the bat I was like, okay, well it's not gonna hit that 9.0. I was like, I'd be surprised if it even hit the 7. And then signatures went through. It says on here Stan Lee's signature was on 10/29/17, and then McFarlane's signature was on December 14th, 2017. Uh, the nightmare part was when I got the grade back, it came back as restored with slight color touch.
But
And
why was it restored when you bought it, or why is it's restored?
so someone colored in, and I guess like on the red parts or something with to restore it so it doesn't have as many color
So the person
breaks.
who sold it to you did that?
I don't know if it was the seller or if it was they bought it like that and didn't check. I mean, I was young into back into buying comics and I didn't really check, and now I
Mhm.
know how to check
Oh,
for restoration and all that. Um, but like at the same time, who restores like a copper bronze age
mhm,
book? Like you hear that more often in like silver age and golden age, because I guess that was kind of the attitude back then. And um, by the time I got the book and I was already committed to like sending in the book for the signing, and I at the time I didn't want to just send the Spider-Man one,
yeah.
um, as so and then I guess now with the prices that they are, I could somewhat just break even, but at the same time, like, who really wants to buy a restored copy of ASM 300?
W well, I mean, if it's gonna be less than what they go for,
Yeah,
I think if doesn't matter, like, if it's really a collector and they wanna have that, they
yeah,
will kinda go for it, because I think that's something that I will do, like, something that I really want that, like,
yeah,
my, Avengers Annual 10, I wanted to have that one, and it's not the best shape, but I just wanted to have it, I didn't care. So I think
yeah,
somebody out there will not care, well, the long as they have it, especially because they have a Stanley signature.
yeah. I figured it's more of a if someone were to buy it, it would be more for the signature more than for the book.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then I thought about sending it back to CGC for the color restoration removal and stuff like that through the CCS service.
Oh, wait, okay, I didn't know that. Okay, see,
Yeah,
again, I'm still
e-
new to this
e-
stuff. I There can go back and take the restoration?
yeah. So certain types of restoration can be removed. Um,
What?
but the service is pretty expensive, depending.
Oh.
Oh, so like you would have to send it into
Mhm.
CCS. They would have to analyze it, and then they quote you back like how much it costs. And then I was uh, I was asking at a CGC booth one
Mhm.
day. I was just like I was like, what's the ballpark estimate of how much that service costs? And then they gave me a quote. I mean, like it wasn't like
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
solid like, but they're like it usually costs around this, and I was just like kind of like, yeah, I'm not
Mhm.
dropping that much more money into.
Is it gonna be worth it? I mean,
I mean, I probably obviously take a grade. It would probably bump down in grade, but the restored label would be removed. But is it worth it at the end? I
mhm.
don't know. Like
Yeah.
but
Eh
I mean, I use the book as a reminder more than
yeah.
anything.
I mean, I guess sometimes we kinda have to accept it, I guess, and kinda deal with it. And then, uh, uh, I don't that's a tough one. That's I think, the long as you're happy with the book, because I mean, that's even it's for you anyways, right? It's
Yeah,
for your collection? Because you say you don't think you will sell that one, right? That's something that you will like to keep.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I would probably end up wanting to keep because this is the only dual sig Stanley Todd McFarlane like signature book I have, and I, you know,
Yeah, that
they
makes
had
it
a
pretty
they
cool.
had a pretty special relationship, like uh,
Yeah,
where you always see them in videos together since like the '90s. So
yeah. Yeah,
um,
that's I feel like that should be kind of priceless, I guess, like for you, like depends on how you feel about it.
yeah,
Uh, but I mean, I just started saying like collect what makes you happy,
yeah,
and I at the beginning I was because that's kind of like how they were teaching me how to feel like care so much about the condition. And I came to realize, especially for older books, I have to um appreciate, like feel like just how it kind of it is, not word unless it's new, like those newer ones. If it's like something that just came out, yes, I'm gonna care for the condition because it just came out. But
right,
if it's something that is older, I'm gonna I feel, well, now I think about it, it has history. You know,
right.
I
So
don't
then,
know
yeah,
who
at that
who
point you're buying history.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, and I'm bringing probably ghosts in my house buying this this comic books, A ghost is gonna come and hunt me for their
That's
comic
from
book.
my collection.
Get my collection, yo. Just kidding. No, but I think it's just now it feels different for me,
Mhm,
uh, having those books, but at the same time, it's like the whole mailing thing. It's something that it's gonna be a nightmare for everybody. You see so many, and I have one that I don't know if I talked about it. One of the books I think I was missing, and it was from Something's Killing the Children, and in Batcave Comics, he helped me out, and he sent me a book, right? And
mhm,
he thank God he knows how to ship stuff, right? And even though he did such a good job wrapping it, the mailman kind of fucked it all up
ugh,
because I
did they
live on apartments. So our mailbox is like a little square thingy, right?
ooh,
It was the middle of the summer, and we went to get the mail, my husband and I, and he was trying to get it was uh it was like a it was like this, like something like that, but it was in size, a mailer still,
mhm,
and it was the box, and he couldn't. First of all, the sun was hitting the mail, and it's metal,
mhm,
and my husband's like trying to take it out, and I mean, it was so stuck in there the way he just shoved it in there. When he took it out, he's like, "Oh man, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna get damaged. There's no way that I can take this thing." I mean, he almost, I don't know if he did you or not, babe, put his foot up trying to get it out.
oh, wow.
Like, it was like he was having, and he poor my husband, he was getting burned because it was like 115 degrees. So
Ooh,
that burning metal. And when it was like this, and he was putting his hand inside the mail to push it out.
mhm,
And so all this, like on the side, all that, it was getting all messed up from both sides because he was trying to take that freaking thing out.
right,
And it did, from the spine of the book, it did kind of messed it up. It kind of wrinkled a little bit. Um, and hey, Heather, yay. And yeah, freaking, and it sucks because it's one of the early books of Something's Killing the Children. And I was missing that one because around that time I got my surgery, and it was around Heather's wedding. I couldn't make it to her wedding because I had that week I got my surgery. So I couldn't make it to the store to get that one, and I so he was so nice, and he sent me that book that I was missing.
Nice.
But it was
Such a good
man, it
series
made
though too.
I
Like
love it.
that's
But
like honestly like probably like one of my favorite series.
yeah, and stupid mailman fucked it all up. I
Yeah,
was
I mean,
so mad.
but you honestly, you're not the only person I've ever heard of a mailman like stuffing a comic book mailer into like a square bound mailbox
Mhm.
like that. I mean, I guess the neighborhood I live in, like we have the mailboxes too, but
Yeah.
it's a rectangle shape.
Oh,
So
okay.
I
And
got kind of lucky with
lately,
that.
even, because they have on the side, like, those bigger ones that where it doesn't fit there, they'll put them in those bigger ones, and they leave
Hmm.
you a key. And I don't know if that day was it was already used, but lately he's been, bringing them up and putting them outside my door. Thank God, you know? But it was, oh, such a freaking
Which that can be scary too because
yeah,
of the weather. Like if it starts raining or something like that, someone could
yeah.
just run up and swipe it. Like,
Well,
uh,
the good thing I'm in the 2nd floor, and it's very like, our area, the apartments is very private, so it's, me and our neighbor, like, it's one stairs just for the 2 of us, so
oh,
it's
okay.
pretty secure, thank God,
Hmm.
like, it's nothing crazy.
So you're like tucked away
Um
in a corner somewhere, which
Yeah, so and in the way
yeah.
you can't really see there's something, and then most of the time I'm at home, so I go out and I'll grab them right away. Yeah, I had surgery, I got my appendix taken out a year ago. It's a year. Um, but yeah, it was, oh man, and I was hoping I another nightmare, that when you wait too long to get a freaking book, then you don't just freaking pull the trigger, and then later on it's so expensive you can't get it anymore, so that's one of them. Like, I wanted
Yeah.
the Jenny Fritzen's, it was, I think it's issue 6 that I'm missing, and it was $20, and I was like, "Ah, it's $20." Like, and I was like, "Fucking $80." I'm like, "Oh, shit." Yeah, I don't think I want
Uh,
it. I
well,
really want it, but I don't know if I wanna pay $80.
yeah, I have one of those. It's the this Ghost Spider Gwen
Uh-huh.
1 in 100. I had a chance to pre-order all the incentives for that run, and I'm a huge Spider Gwen collector.
Mhm,
And something else came out that week, and I was distracted by that. That was probably overpublished at the time,
mhm,
and that's a 1 in 100, and it was way under ordered.
mm.
And so I think the day of release, it like instead of paying like $100 for that, like I think it jumped up already like the day of like to 200.
Oh.
If you look at prices now, they're $850 raw.
Oh, shit, now I'm complaining about $80.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not gonna pull the trigger on $1,000 raw book like at all. Like, but
Oh,
even graded ones are like still like 900 to a thousand
wow.
bucks, and I'm just like kind of like
Wait,
I'm like it's like
why?
it's it's one of those things that like you live and learn, but
Yeah,
it's at the same time like I'm not suggesting to buy everything. Like
yeah,
just be picky, and then like if you have a gut feeling, like go with your instinct. Like
you know what? My chubby gut, it's been okay. It's been like when I'm like, I know I have to, especially with the Something's Killing Children, I start getting this, when it came out, like, with previews and everything, I was just like, I already knew I wanted that, and the same with Kanto, but I, uh,
yeah, I
it
jumped on issue 2, and
on
then
on
I
which one?
like
On
for
Kanto?
something no for something is killing the children.
That one I did. I got 2 of each. I sold, like, I think, on around August when I started selling, I think I sold, once, the cover A and B, 'cause I
Yeah.
no, 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 I had the 3 of them. I had a set of the 3 issues, the Jay Lee, I think, oh, what's his name?
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
Jay Lee, Jenny Prison,
the cover.
and then cover A's Dell something. I forget his last name.
So I had 3, so it's total of 6, and I had 3, 1 set of
T-
the 3 and 1 set of the other one, and I sold 1 set, and, which I sold it now I think about it, it was like, it's cheap, whoever bought it, they got the 3 of them,
Yeah, I
1
sold my extra copies too for way too cheap. Like I
yeah, well
started selling on the rise, and then like I set a price with someone, and then they hit me up like a month later, and I was just like kind of like they're like, "Oh, do you still have those books for sale?" And I was like, "Yeah, how much did I say for it again?" And then I was like kind of like I was like,
I
yeah,
would've
I
said
guess so.
no. I would've said, "No, sorry, I sold them."
Yeah, but he's a friend too, so it
Oh,
was like
okay,
it was
okay,
kind
so
of hard.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
mine I sold the 3 of them for 150, which I thought it was still a lot. I was like, "Oh my god, I made so much," because it was, like, one of my first and I don't regret it, honestly, like, I still am like, it was $150 that I didn't have at the time, so I'm
yeah,
good. I'm
yeah,
good.
yeah.
It's a lot for something that I paid, uh
Cover price for basically, right?
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I was still working at the comic book store, so I was getting a good discount, so it was I mean, I made 100 times more than than I
yeah.
got for, and I still have a set, so I'm good, I'm happy, and I actually got them CGC. I think cover 8, I might have gotten 9.6 actually, I don't know if I got it point 9.8, I don't remember,
Mhm.
um,
Oh,
and
and then yeah,
it
shout out to Mighty Mel V for giving us that link
dude,
for cover
no,
A.
I fucked up on that one. I went to bed and I fell asleep. Usually when I'm watching them, I fall asleep. Like I'm
Mhm.
listening in bed. Like if when I'm not on, I'm listening in bed and I pass out and I fell asleep. The next day, well, they were gone. And I was like,
No,
damn
actually,
it.
they
Where the
weren't.
I checked.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm stupid. I just remember it was on my phone. I checked on my phone and they said they were gone. You had to go on the actual website to do it, right?
Mm,
'Cause on
yeah,
my phone,
because
it said they were gone. So
yeah, yeah, because yeah, I went on the website and I wish I bought more. I bought 2 copies because they
mm,
were selling them for like what was it, $20 a
40
piece?
40
It was
40
a
bucks. 40 bucks, I think it was.
okay.
I
Yeah, and
forget.
I was kinda kicking myself for not buying more.
Well,
Like,
at least you got one more. I
dude,
didn't. I
yeah, I got
did.
2, which I was happy because I was missing cover A, and then I sent those out for grading. I hit 9.8 on both.
Oh, that's good. My
Yeah,
Kanto is for sure, it's not. 'Cause that one was, almost all of them. Mine was one of the damage that it was, and again, I had 2 sets of that one, and then
yeah.
I sold one of them like a dummy. I had that one and one out of 10 of number 1, and like a dumbass, sold
Mhm.
it for $70,
Oh,
both
wow.
of them. Yeah, again, at the beginning, and that one, I do kick myself for that one. Um,
Yeah,
and the other one I think was the cover I didn't notice, but I think the other one, number 1, it wasn't good it wasn't better it didn't have the damage, I think, and only the one out of 10 was a little bit, damaged, and I got it from Midtown. But the one that I had, it has the crack thingy, whatever, band, like all
mm,
of them. So
yeah,
that one for sure is a 9.6, and then my husband he scored, of a set of Kanto, and it was cover A, the second print of number 1,
mhm,
and the rest and all the set 1 through 5, it's a for $80. He got them all for 80 on Mercari. So,
nice.
I was like, "Yes, score." So now I have 2, 1 CGC, 1, raw of Kanto, but, yeah, we did good on that one. But, okay, so we're
Yeah, I need to drop soon,
I
but,
know, I was just gonna say, so for a solution, my solution,
mhm.
what's out of your nightmares, what's your
Okay,
solution?
okay, so instead of using vinyl records to ship your books in, I would recommend Gemini mailers or even, I sent the book, like, to
Yeah,
you using a Comic Shield. I like these boxes,
I like
you
it.
know?
Where
Uh,
did you get those? Just
um, so,
on their
like,
website?
there's a yeah, you can buy them from the website. There's a couple stores that already implement them.
Oh, okay.
Um, I guess I don't want to mention the exact stores that use them, but here you go. Here's if you know what the symbol
Oh,
is,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, okay,
I thought
okay.
this one was pretty cool because it's like drawn on, like, or
Yeah.
something like that, or maybe printed. I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool.
Hey,
Um,
you came in our last few minutes. He's giving
yeah.
us a a solution for our comic book nightmares, and another solution I have, it's like, if you're gonna buy something, check, eBay, Mercari, make sure what they sell. If it's a comic book, store, or even if it's because, I mean, you got bad. things from a comic book store, just ask, how are you gonna mail them?
Yeah.
Um, the most I don't know, message them in the most politely way.
Yeah, and then let's see, when buying from other users like on Facebook, Instagram, don't be afraid to ask for more pictures because with the restored copy of my ASM, I re-looked at the pictures that and I was like, oh, he was totally missing that corner where it was covering up like the bend and stuff like that. So those are definitely like easy solutions that could have been avoided.
Mhm.
Uh, with the and then when you're shipping slabs, um, definitely do not use these padded envelopes. Like you can use it to like put it inside something else and then bubble wrap it. That's how I do it. Like
Yeah.
I'll use this to put the initial slab in, and then I'll wrap that in bubble wrap, and then so there's enough padding within a. I think it'll still fit in a medium
Yeah,
flat rate box. And
yeah,
then if you want that to go the extra mile, you can put that inside a large uh, priority box.
yeah, yeah, and I mean, you just let the person know, like, "Hey, this is how much it's gonna be shipping because of this. This is the
Yeah,
reason you're paying for shipping, you paying for security."
yeah,
Uh, or just tell them, "Hey, can you do this? I don't mind paying for the extra shipping." Just, I guess, speak up.
yeah.
Don't be afraid.
And then another way I've gotten a slab is someone cut up a pool noodle and then
Mhm.
secured it that way. So
Hmm.
that's probably been the most unique, safest way I've ever seen a slab
Yeah,
chip.
yeah. Well,
So
see, like, the way I send my comics, I it's my husband builds my cardboard thingies, and they've been tested and they're being good, but and everybody's been happy with it, so I guess I do okay. Okay, well, I mean, anything else that you wanna plug in real quick?
uh, check out Comic Book Food Chain and Comic Book Women on Tuesdays.
To
On the flip
yeah,
side, like
yeah.
yeah, y'all are doing great stuff over there, and so uh,
Yeah, tales from the flip side. Check they have so many shows that you can watch. There were Comic Book Woman and then the one you're in.
oh yeah, I'm on the modern playbook for the top 10 spec, which we're about to record, and then I also host the round table.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming, and I don't know when I'm gonna do my next episode. We have some stuff coming up soon, and we're busy, so
Yeah.
uh,
Thank you for having
stay
me
tuned.
too.
Oh, thank you
Yeah.
so much for coming finally.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We did
And
this,
then
and
oh, one more shout out. Shout out to Mighty Mel V for,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, because uh I wouldn't be podcasting without him. Is
me
that the same?
too.
I know,
Yes,
right?
I wouldn't
He,
have this my own show or comic book woman without I'm always saying it. If it wasn't for it, he gave me that little push.
right, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah. Just like having that open format and then like giving people a shot, like it's
yeah.
great, and then it becomes an addiction almost, like it,
Oh,
like I don't know what's worse, my collecting habits or showing up on
being on the show.
podcasts.
I know, I was saying I've been on other ones that I've been invited, and I was like, I feel like I'm a podcast hoe. I'm everywhere.
Oh.
I'm everywhere. But yeah, well, again, thank you so much, Aaron. Thank you, and make sure you guys follow him. I did. If you watching on the rewind, I added his information and comic book food chain. Make sure to check them out too, and tales from the flip side. And again, thank you so much, and have a great night, everyone. Bye.
Bye.